Welcome to What a Doll Podcast, a podcast where life is plastic and fantastic. Each episode, we bring you doll news, opinions, retrospectives, and guests. So join us as we discuss and share our love for dolls with fans everywhere. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of What a Doll, the podcast all about dolls and the people who love them. My name is Chris.
I'm Terry.
And we are joined today by indie filmmaker and mermaidologist and doll collector Matt from Tiny Siren Tunes.
Hi!
Welcome to the show, Matt. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So I have been wanting to chat with you for quite some time, and I was like, what is a better opportunity than MerMay to talk about mermaids with somebody who is crazy for mermaids, and I love it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm very into it. Thank you.
No, I've got a quick question. Are you participating in MerMay this year?
I wish every year I always am like, oh my god, this seems so cool. Specifically the cartoonist one, or the illustrator one. I know that there's a doll one as well, that I've never participated in, but I enjoy the photos of. But the cartoonist, the cartoon one, illustrated one, I am going to mangle all of my words tonight, so prepare. But no, the cartoonist one, I think I did 1 year, and I had a lot of fun. But this year, I am just at the beginning of like kind of the craziest project of my life, so I'm not really going to have time, unfortunately. But it is a mermaid project, so like the next 24-ish months are going to be mermaid for me.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm okay losing one to have the other right now.
Yeah, I think you will be mermaid out.
You would
next
think
2 years.
You would think, but after like 31 years and just like looking around my office, that's just like kind of all fish people. I don't think that can happen. So
I love it.
We'll see.
Terry, are you doing anything for MerMay this year?
Oh, I'm trying. I kind of came up with my own prompt list. But,
Ooh. Are you doing like photographs or drawings?
No, drawings, but I thought it would be funny because merfolk are so vain that if I did like an action figure or doll line with me and like Merman Ter B from the Merman podcast, but I drew one up last night, colored it with alcohol markers and painted it a little bit. I wasn't thrilled with it, but
oh no.
Yeah, so I'll probably do a few here and there, but I'll probably do like a few random solo mermaids too that either I liked from childhood or maybe something I come up with in my head. So I have an idea, but not
nice,
fully developed.
Nice. I usually try to do like one illustration for mermaid.
Yep.
Hey, so it's better than nothing.
I think I released I released like the movie title today, and I was like, this is the only thing I can do.
Yeah.
Here you go. I will try to get out other stuff, but this is my excuse for the time being.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I think last year I tried to do something similar where I just did like mermaids from like toys and like from TV and movies and stuff that I really liked. But then I think I got like a kind of crazy job like maybe halfway through. Maybe this was 2 years ago. I can't remember anymore. Time is a construct. But like about like halfway through, I was like, oh, I can't do this anymore. But this has been fun. See you guys later.
Yeah, I do remember seeing you do a bunch of different illustrations 1 year. And I was like, oh my god, is he drawing these all in 1 month?
Oh, the 1 year that I was actually able to do all of MerMay, I started in I think March. And then because like they released that Tom Bancroft releases that prompt list like super early. So I think I started in like March and like chipped away at it and then like eventually caught up. So like some of them I was like doing in like just a couple hours. This was like, I think 2018 or something that I actually did all of it. But yeah, no, otherwise I usually try to get a little bit ahead, but it was not in the cards this year by any means.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fish happens. And...
Oh yeah. I love it.
So what came for you first? Was it mermaids, dolls, or was it like a mermaid doll?
It was a mermaid doll. It was both. I actually still have, if we had video, I could show you. I actually still have her. She's sitting up over my office doorway. But when I was like, I don't even know how old, but like 3 or 4, I think, my family was on vacation in Virginia. I think it was for like a family wedding. And like I think it was like at the hotel gift shop or like
cool.
I don't remember, but I like vaguely recall like being in a store and seeing this like little teeny tiny like mermaid doll on like a bubble card package or whatever they call that. And I don't know. I was just like, not only do I need this, but like my whole life is this now. Yeah, I don't know. My parents got her for me.
At 3 in a hotel gift shop seems like
it's a good that's my advice to everyone. When you are 3 years old and in a hotel, make giant life decisions and never stray.
I love it.
But she just like I don't know. I called her Pearl because she's like, I think someone said I think it's like very much a budget line, so very hard to find information for now. But like I think they were called like Pretty Mermaids or something like that. Not the My Pretty Mermaid from Play School. Right. I had a couple of those as well, but later. But she's just like, I don't know. She just like has a sparkly white tail and white shells and blue hair. And so I called her Pearl. And yeah, she's just like, stuck around for, I guess like 25 plus years now. And yeah, from there, like it was truly like any mermaid I could find, I would need from my parents. So like from there, like they would rent, specifically my introduction to like Ariel was the show. I don't think I saw the Little Mermaid movie until it was re-released in theaters in like 97. So like I would like watch the Little Mermaid show, and then like any like toy I could find of a mer person, I was like, I need this. Any cartoon, anything, any like little book. I had so many different versions of the Little Mermaid as a kid.
I believe.
So it was all sparked from this like one little toy in a gift shop.
I love that. I love that it's like your brain just zoomed in on it from so early, and it's like, nope, this is a core piece of identity now.
Right. Yeah. Like, this is what the rest of my life will be about.
Oh, I love it. It.
You never hear, like, talking to fellow doll collectors, you never hear of a story like that at
really?
station or gift shop. No, like you at least for me, like talking to another guy usually who collects dolls. They wanted to play with like their sisters or their neighbors or whatever, but like how cool to get it from a gas station. And it wasn't like a birthday gift or anything like that.
No. My parents were very, very cool about just kind of like letting me sort of explore whatever I wanted. Which like, they still struggled with some stuff, but like for the most part, like if I was like, hey, I want this like very feminine thing. For the most part, it's not like they would just get it for me. I think this was like, because we were on vacation, they wanted me to like have a souvenir. And I think especially because like, I'm pretty sure it was my like Aunt Lydia's wedding. So like, I think it was like sort of like a special little keepsake or something like that. But for the most part, like if I was like interested in something and like sort of either like, I remember I'd have to somehow earn it. Like I could I do chores and earn my allowance and stuff. But like if I was like, oh, I want to buy this, princess or this mermaid thing, my parents would be like, okay, it's your money, go for it. Which is nice. I don't think I realized how unique that was until I was like in my mid to late 20s. But it is very much appreciated now.
Yeah, that's huge. Like that ability to just sort of follow your own interests in, the 90s as like a young gay child. And
yes. Yeah, no, once I figured that whole gay thing out, my attraction to the prince from Thumbelina made a bunch of more sense. I was like, oh, this is why I like this so much. Yeah, awful hair. But but otherwise, like Don Bluth knows how to draw a cute guy. So
yes, he does.
It clicked back then. So it was very nice. Again, like, I think it was just my parents wanted me to be happy, and they were like, okay, like this is making him happy for now, and then we'll just like see how things go. And I think they went pretty well.
So now when you finally saw The Little Mermaid after seeing the series first, how did you feel? Basically like, I guess it actually makes sense to watch it that way because the series takes place before the movie.
Right. Yeah. I thought that's just like how movies worked. Like I was like, oh, like you get the show and the show is the before and then it ends with a giant movie. Right. It was also like very much like it was a weird thing. So I would have been like 6 years old in 97 when the movie was back in theaters. So like not only had I seen the show, but I had also read the original story enough times to know that, like, in this movie, Ariel was supposed to die. So, like, I remember being, like, very, very happy for, like, when the movie was... And I sort of, like, knew the Disney version because I think I had a couple of books. But, like, I remember just, like, being really happy at the end, being like, oh, the Little Mermaid got to live this time. This is, like, really, really... Like, it was like, I was a very precocious child, I guess.
Good for her.
Yeah, no,
she got to live this time.
Truly, I was like, I think I was like thinking about that a while ago because like what the project I'm working on now delves into the original Little Mermaid, or I reference the original Little Mermaid in a lot of my work now. So I think about like that like weird moment a lot when I was just like, I was way too young to probably understand the like nuances of adaptations, but like I just was really happy that like this literary character that I really loved for, a couple of years at that point got to like survive once. So yeah, that was just like a really nice, a fun little moment.
Yeah. I've got a quick question. When you were playing with your mermaid dolls, did you ever make them die?
No, probably not.
No. Okay.
Oh, that would be so dark.
It's
original.
Yeah, for some reason, like I've always really I've always appreciated the end of The Little Mermaid, like for anyone listening who doesn't know the original, because at this point I think
32-year spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, 200-year spoiler alert, but like in the OG, in the original, like The Little Mermaid, the prince marries somebody else, so the Little Mermaid dissolves into sea foam, and then gets to like she gets the opportunity to like earn a soul by being adopted by the Daughters of the Air. It's a little convoluted. And a lot of people think that it was just like sort of tacked on at the end. But for some reason, I always like appreciated it. Like, I think I was just like, I don't know. It was just like so different from other stuff that I was seeing as like a child. So like, I always sort of appreciated the like sad ending. What was I just saying about being a precocious child? But still, I was like, I didn't like particularly like, I was never one of those ones who was like fascinated with death and like into like the same way that a lot of kids are, just like because it's like so unknown that they're like sort of just like always thinking about it. I definitely had friends like that, but for me, I was like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna stay in the life part right now. No, and I would like play with mermaid dolls. Not that I like particularly remember too much because I think I usually was just like, they're so pretty. I just want to look at them. I think for the most part, I would just like spin them around and like watch their hair fly around and stuff.
In that classic Barbie commercial style where the hair just whips around the whole body.
Yeah.
Yep. Very much a favorite thing to do.
So then jewel hair mermaid Barbie has got to be a favorite.
Oh yeah. I have one sitting behind me, not the one that I grew up with. I think I actually had, oh no, it's fine because I very much cut her hair at one point.
No.
I didn't I don't think I understood that like hair on dolls didn't grow back. In some spheres, very smart and understanding, and others, no idea what's going on. No, I feel like that is like the most, for at least like mermaid dolls, but like also just kind of Barbie in general. Jewel Hair Mermaid Barbie is probably one of the most like iconic of the 90s.
I agree.
And I think I don't think I had Barbie. I think I had Midge because I liked blue. I don't think I cared for gold as a child, so I think I stayed away from the Barbie. But I liked blue a lot. So I'm pretty sure I had Midge or maybe Teresa, but like I very much remember cutting the hair and being like, wait, this doesn't go back? What do you mean?
Undersea Bob forever. Yeah.
Truly. It looked very like Dora the Explorer now.
Oh my God.
But just very like triangular because like once you cut all that hair, it just kind of like flies right up because of all the weight's gone. I very much had that one. I feel like I had a couple bubbling mermaid Barbies. Like I think I lost one at one point, so I got another one. At one point way later, I definitely didn't get these new, but I got some of the like first mermaid Barbies, the ones that were released in 91, which was the year I was born, which is like kismet and perfect. But I definitely remember getting those, but like at like a flea market or something, way after the fact.
I am not familiar with bubbling mermaid Barbie, and I'm looking her up right now. And it's adorable.
She's really, really great. I got another one of those secondhand because I have a lot of the toys that I had growing up still, but for some reason, not a lot of Barbie. I think at one point we just like sold her, but my mom made it a point to like keep all of the Ariels, so I have a lot of her still. But no, bubbling mermaid Barbie is great, and so I got one secondhand who's like in pretty good. Oh, if I'm like going in and out of the mic, it's because I'm turning around to look at them. But like I got one secondhand, and the color change feature is like still incredible. It works so well, and it's been like 20 years. Because the blue tail turns like hot pink, and then like there's like yellow sea stars and green seaweed and stuff that all like appear on the tail and stuff. It's really really, really fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Is she the one that shoots bubbles from like her crown?
Yeah, she would come with no, you're thinking of the right one. So the like feature about her, which is why she's like very much a bath toy as opposed to all the other mermaid dolls from like the 90s. Well, I mean, the Barbies anyway. So she's hollow. She is fully hollow, which I guess is maybe not that unique, but she has a hole in the top of her head. That's around a little tiara. And then what you do is like, it would come with this like longer crown that had like a bubble, not a wand, but it like would have that typical like bubble circle at the top of the crown. And then you could dip that into water. And then when you squeeze her like tail, the air from inside would go out and like create a bunch of bubbles from the crown. Which was like very, I don't know, like it feels like very like smart. Like, I think they were having a lot of fun with like specifically bubble Barbies at the time, because I also remember they had that like bubbling angel Barbie who had like the giant wings that were like a big bubble wand and stuff.
So cool.
So this was sort of like the mermaid variety where like ultimately she's just like a squeezy toy that like can create a little like burst of wind out of her head, which is a very weird sentence to say, but then it like just creates a bunch of like fun little bubbles.
Like the 90s stuff, man. They had their play features really like tuned in that era. They really did.
I also got recently Tropical Splash Kayla from the 97 Mattel Little Mermaid line. Kayla is a character that Mattel made up so that they would have some people of color in their Little Mermaid line. And her color change feature is still also really, really cool. It's faded a little bit over the years, but like, so her tail is orange. And then when you put her in water, it turns like bright yellow with like a bunch of seahorses and stuff all over it. And it's just like, they had so much, I definitely like looking at toys specifically over the last like 30 years, because those are, you know, the ones that I've been aware of. Like I'm not really at all surprised that we have so much nostalgia for the 90s ones, not just because like, you know, the three of us grew up with those most likely. I don't exactly know your ages, but I feel like we're all pretty close to contemporaries.
Yeah.
I think we are.
But yeah. But like they just like had so many, like they had a lot of really fun play features, but that didn't necessarily like detract from the actual toy. Like I feel like for a long time you'd get a lot of like in like the mid 2010s you'd get a lot of like Barbies from like the movies and stuff, but they were like just this one thing. Like they were like, I don't know, like I always think of like this, I think it's like Princess Power, the ones that could turn into superheroes or something. And I feel like those all like kind of were like, oh yeah, it just kind of like her dress changes from blue to pink and you can't really do anything else with it. Like the outfit doesn't come off or anything like that. But then a lot of these, like, I feel like a lot of the toys from like the 90s were like, oh yeah, there's like a really fun, cool feature, but it still is like a fashion doll and you can still like play with it and stuff. Like the bubbling mermaid Barbie, you can't really do too much with, but she has two fabric pieces, like a belt and not a seashell bra, but like a swimsuit top or whatever it is. So you can still like change her outfits and stuff. I don't know. I think it's just, well, you know, what a twist. Like a guy who's like, oh yeah, the toys in the 90s are so much better than the toys now.
I know, right?
I'm sure that's very new for this space.
I know, it's always interesting to look back, because in some ways, like, you know, I love really like screen accurate toys. So I'm always like, oh, but they don't look like the thing. So it's like, as I look at like these Tropical Splash Ariel dolls, and I'm just like, oh my god!
Yeah.
And like, you could just say Ariel's Hawaiian Vacation across.
Truly, they had some like Oh yeah,
but they're really cute. Like, don't get me wrong. Like Eric with like his flounder tucked under his arm. It's like adorable.
I could like go on like a whole separate not tirade, but like a whole separate like rant or something about toys based on cartoon characters. I find them fascinating, and that's kind of what started my like adult collection. Was cartoon dolls, but some of them are just like so interesting, especially like the Little Mermaid dolls from like not Mattel, the Tyco ones fascinating. For that same reason, like there are some that like straight up like this is like, oh, this is Ariel if she lived in the 90s. Like this is not based on the movie or even really. The show is sort of weird because the show like takes place in this weird time that's like not the 90s, but also more the 90s than the movie was.
Really, I've actually never watched the show, so it's been on my list for a while.
It is very, very cute. I think the first thing I did when we got Disney Plus was go through, not all of it. I watched some of it on demand already, but I went through the last like 2 seasons that I don't think I'd ever seen. Like, I don't think they released all of the show on VHS, which is the only way I saw it as a kid. Because we didn't, well, I guess that was on CBS, so we would have gotten that, but like we didn't have cable till I was like 13. No, the show is very cute and like has some fun, like fun. It is a better prequel than The Little Mermaid 3 by far, I would say.
And how
and
about
also the Little
She
Mermaid
Must
show
Not Be Named Little Mermaid 2?
I haven't watched Little Mermaid 2 in a long time, but I remember really enjoying it as a kid. Even though it's just like the reverse Little Mermaid. But that's, kind of all it makes sense. But
I mean, they made so much money when they made Little Mermaid 2 again as Moana.
Very true. That's funny. No, what I really appreciated about the Little Mermaid show was that Ariel very quickly gets a merman friend who is in a lot of the episodes, not all of them. And they never made any toys of him, which like is very disappointing to me now, especially with like how rare mermen dolls and toys are.
Right.
But the like third episode of the show is called Urchin, which is when she meets Urchin, who is a homeless merman who's like her age. And at first he's like very, I don't know, combative and stuff, and like doesn't want to be friends with like a princess because like she's got, all this wealth and he doesn't have anything. But he's like sort of like quasi adopted by Triton and is like in a lot of episodes, and like Triton and Urchin have like a lot of like moments together, and it's like a really, like when I was going through it again when we got Disney Plus, I was like, oh, this is like really sweet. This is like a very sweet relationship that existed in this show. And they never explained why Urchin left, because obviously he's not in the movie. But they did like a good job sort of like setting up a lot of other stuff, like who Scuttle is. But at the same time, the Sebastian relationship makes no sense. Yeah, there's a whole episode about Scuttle and like Ariel meeting Scuttle and stuff, which is very fun. No, it's a very cute. I as like the first show, so the Little Mermaid show is the first one based on a Disney movie. Disney had never made a show based off of one of their movies before. And I think they did a really good job with it. Like even now, like, almost 30 years later, I think it's still a lot of fun as a show based on a movie, which we've of course gotten many, many times now.
Right. I mean, I have deep fondness for the old Aladdin TV show.
Yeah. Like, I don't know why that isn't on Disney Plus. Yes, like that would be fun to go back and
angers me when I think about that. I'm like, where is it, Disney?
So weird. I don't understand.
What have you done with him?
I was gonna say, what about Will Smith? Like, maybe they took it down with that whole thing, but I mean, he was in the live action, not
yeah. No, they wouldn't have. No, I don't think they've. I wonder if it's some of the weirdness with like Dan Castellaneta. Is that how you say his last name? And Robin Williams. I know that like Robin Williams was really not happy about being replaced in the movie sequels.
The second movie, yeah.
Right. So I kind of wonder if like maybe there's some weird thing in that they have to avoid for like Robin Williams' estate and everything. But I have no idea. It's so strange that they like have the Little Mermaid and Hercules and stuff, but they don't have the Aladdin show. But they have the movies that are like directly related to the show.
Yeah. The second movie,
unlike the Little Mermaid movies. Right. Well, it was the pilot, and then the third movie is the finale. Whereas like the Little Mermaid 2 and 3 are completely unrelated to the show. And like, I guess that's it, because Hercules didn't get a sequel. So like the show being a prequel is like fine. Yeah, I don't know. It's very strange.
But back to mermaids.
Yes.
Right.
So your first doll was the gift shop doll, your first mermaid doll.
Yeah.
And then what was your favorite mermaid doll as a child?
Yeah.
So I've been hunting for these like specifically all weekend because I'm very much in like I guess like a shop till I drop mood right now, which is its own problem.
Is it just an ADHD hyperfixation moment?
It is not. I actually think it's a stress coping mechanism that I probably need to address with my therapist. But no, so I have the compacts over like right off to the side right here because I've been looking for the dolls to go in them. But Cap Toys had this line of small dolls called the Merwees, MERWEES. And they were like they were bigger than Polly Pocket by quite a bit, but like they were these like mermaid dolls that came in these like little seashell compact environments, kind of like a Polly Pocket. Like the one that I have here, this blue one, is like a beach cafe. So it's got like a little kitchen, and I still have the octopus, I guess. But they had each set came with this like little mermaid doll, like literal, very little, not Ariel or Hans Christian Andersen. With this like little mermaid doll who had the really fun feature. I loved this so much. I thought it was so cool as a kid, and I still think it's really smart. Is the idea was they had this like body that was molded to look like human legs and feet, and they were sort of designed to look like they were wearing like pants and socks and shoes. But then when you dipped them in hot water, the color change would go to scales and like I think some stripes on the feet for fins. So the idea was that they were humans on land, and then when you put them in warm water, they would turn into mermaids. Of course, like the body is like ambiguous enough that like you can kind of just say that they're mermaids all the time. But I thought it was just like they're adorable, and like I was absolutely obsessed with Polly Pockets as a kid. Basically any like little like play set, little environment, I thought was just like the coolest thing. So like this was everything that we've talked about so far. It's like the little environment of a Polly Pocket. It's a mermaid, but it's also like the fun feature of like there's color change. There's like a little story element in here of like, yeah, they're like humans on land, but then like mermaids in the water. But then like everything is like all ocean themed and stuff, like the beach cafe. And I think the other one I have is, this is a wedding set, which is cool because that actually came with a merman figure that I still have. I don't have the mermaid anymore, but I have the merman. Because it's a little wedding set. So like it's interesting because like the merman is like basically just like, I don't know, a friend. So like he's 100% merman. He's got like very much a molded in tail, does not color change or anything, wearing a little tuxedo. He's actually very adorable. But the mermaid would then, still have her sort of like, I guess she's wearing pants to her wedding, which like very progressive, good for her. And then, when she goes in the water, I think her tail was like magenta and would turn like hot pink or something. But I've been looking for the dolls again because they're just like so cute and I would love to have them out. I've been very much trying to get more of like the stuff that I had as a kid lately. And those are very much on my must find list, but they only lasted, I think, a year. They only had like one line. And I think I had these two compacts and then they came with like a waterfall. They had a rainbow waterfall playset that was like very, very cool and very fun. And I had that, but I have no idea where that went. These I found when I got all my toys out of my parents' house like a couple years ago. And so the little compacts I still had, but the dolls and the rainbow waterfall set, I don't know where those went. But I'd love to find them again because they were a lot of fun. If I could like revive a toy line, like it would be that. No question.
Merwees back on shelves everywhere.
Oh yeah, back on shelves.
Oh my gosh.
Because my whole life is fish puns now.
At least
there
for
were
2
also
years.
like really cute small dolls. in the 90s, My Pretty Mermaids.
Yeah.
Yes, from I think technically they're from Play School, but that was already a subsidiary of Hasbro.
Okay.
And so they were like a very conscious, at least I believe, a very conscious, intentional sister brand to My Little Pony at the time.
Oh my gosh, yes. I had forgotten about that connection.
Yeah, so a lot of them have crossover names. Like you'll find a lot of ponies that have the same names as some of the My Pretty Mermaids, and the My Pretty Mermaids also had, I guess, what we would call now cutie marks. At the time, I don't know what they were called. Oh, I just watched the Toys That Made Us.
A
while ago.
Something, right? Is what she called
it. rump mark or like rump symbol or something. Like I'm truly just like, I don't know, it's just like the shape that's on their rump, so it's this. But so the My Pretty Mermaids had those on their fins that also like doubled as a stand because they could like stand on their own and stuff.
They were cool.
They were. That's another one that I found at a flea market, and I think her name was like Seaflower or something. Like she had like a pink tail and I think yellow hair. I don't know. Yeah, that's another one. Ooh, that's fun.
I think I'll have to go back.
They had a lot. That one lasted. Those ones lasted a while. Like I think they had like 5 or 6 different lines over the years. Like just sort of like their classic. But then I think there was like a neon and a princess, and I think they also had a wedding line.
They did. Yep, that was hard to find.
Yeah. Because I think that was a 2-pack again with a groom, which is very like,
right.
It's interesting. I guess like we had like a few more, like, of course they were all wedding sets at the time, but like we had a few more mermen back then. And now like we're finally getting a couple more, which is very exciting, but there's still like, it was, like 10, 15 years of really nothing.
True.
Yeah, I have to say I'm living for all the mermen dolls that have been showing up recently.
Yeah. It's very, I think Mattel is now up to like 3.
A whole 3.
Right.
A whole 3. I was really hoping that with their new mermaid movie that they've got coming, that there would be a Ken in that. And it doesn't look like there is. But I'm really like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like we might get another one at some point because now I think all of the mermaid dolls, at least like the Dreamtopia ones from Mattel, are being designed by Angel Kent, who designed the general release Merman Ken.
Right, which was a huge success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think it's still available. I think they've like kept him around, which is good. I'm literally like, he's on my shelf right in front of me right now.
Yeah, he lives near my computer too.
Yep. Yeah, I've got him, and then I've got Ocean King Ken behind me as well. And then I promptly gave up on trying to find the color reveal one. I got one duplicate, and I was like, I don't ever need to do this again.
I bought. But
maybe one day I'll get him
on eBay, and I was like,
I
mean, you know what? I'm gonna pay the money. I don't care.
Yep, I've got one. The duplicate I didn't like do the color reveal or anything. So like she's down in the basement, and I'll like maybe sell her on eBay in a while, and then just turn that money right around and invest in the color reveal Ken. But I don't know. I'd love to see more. And there are rumors that like some of these other new mermaid lines are coming out with a merman doll soonish.
Good.
But shrug emoji. Who knows? I hope we get to see more.
Right.
It would be very cool. Man.
I actually just finally got my tracking for the Ocean King Ken. And
the release for that one was so strange. I don't understand what happened because like he wasn't supposed to ship for anyone until June, and then mine showed up in like March. I think a lot of people got them in like January or February. Mine showed up in March, and then I have a friend who I think just also got his tracking for him too, like a week or two ago.
Like after I saw them starting to like ship and stuff, I emailed Mattel and I was like, so Any updates on this for me? Like, what's happening here?
Yeah, I think
crickets.
Yeah, I think they probably just were like being very conservative about how long it was going to take. And then probably just like as they started becoming available, because I'm sure right now it's very hard to like source everything and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think just like as they started being available, they just were sending them out so they wouldn't have to like worry about space or anything. Maybe that's very optimistic. I don't know, but no, I know that like he's like sort of controversial in like the mermaid, or not the mermaid world, but like in the Barbie collector world. But like I really like him. I'm really happy he exists. I'm glad he won.
I mean, because did people want? Is he controversial because they wanted like a different doll to win, or?
Yeah, so he was King Ocean or Ocean King. I don't remember. It's some weird.
Oh, it is King Ocean, I guess, which makes
King Ocean can
sounds much weirder and less grammatically
correct. Yeah. But so he was one of the like fashion showdown.
Right, I remember voting for him repeatedly. Yeah.
Right. So I actually didn't. I was like, oh, it would be very cool if you won. I'm glad that he's included, but I am more interested in so they had him, they had basically your like classic Barbie who's like, you know, very pale and blonde hair and like I think white and pink like seashells and tail and stuff. She's very pretty, she's very cute. But it was like those two who eventually they made it to the prototyping phase. So they won. And then the other two were a black Barbie who was like, I think all blue and purple. And like, again, beautiful design. And then the fourth one, who was the one who I really wanted to win, at least at first, she got my vote the first time, she was I believe a curvy Indian Barbie or like curvy, I'm not sure. She was tanner. For some reason I thought she was like, like Southeast Asian or something. But she was just like very like, I don't know, like campy and like she was curvy. And I was like, this is a mermaid doll I've never seen. I've never seen a mermaid like this, especially as a toy. So I very much wanted her to win. She very much lost. I think because she was not like any toy that people had seen before. But yeah, I know that like among Barbie collectors, I mean, they were just like, they really wanted it to be Barbie. Like they wanted it to be the blonde haired, blue eyed, like pink and like shiny white, like, you know, kind of classic Barbie. And then she didn't win. But like, so there was a lot of like, honestly, a lot of homophobia. I saw there were some YouTubers who I like had really liked and respected, and then like saw their review, and I was like, this doesn't sit well. I'm good. But yeah. So I think it's just, I mean, the doll community, the doll fandom is like so perplexing to me. So like I saw like a little bit of the controversy around that and then was like, I'm going to excuse myself. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I'm happy with him. I bought him. If you don't like him, then don't buy him. I don't know why so many people decided to buy him anyway, even if they hated him.
He sold out. So
he sold out. Like, yeah, I think they made 5,000 and the like minimum guarantee was like, I think 1,000 or something like that. Like, I don't remember, but, because like they needed to get a minimum number of pre-orders, and they I think made 5,000 in total.
So but I mean, no, I for Barbie, those are very rare numbers. Like, you know, Barbie rare is like anything, you know, 10,000 or less probably.
Oh, okay. I don't know a ton about like the Barbie collector world. Truly, the only Barbie collector dolls that I have are the mermaid ones. And I'm still missing, I have 3 of the 4 now. But yeah, I think he was 5,000. I guess I can look that up later. I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't know. I think he got more than he initially was supposed to. by quite a bit, but it's still like, yeah, probably some pretty low numbers because he was one of the exclusives for like the signature membership thing.
Right. I think he was actually one of the reasons I renewed that membership.
He's the only reason why I got that membership in the first place.
Yes.
And I'm like, I've been like, maybe I'll like order another thing at some point. But so far I haven't really. Oh, I almost ordered the Barbie Rewind through them, but then I was like, but I can get it cheaper somewhere else. So I'm gonna just get it cheaper somewhere else.
Yeah. Those were on like fire sale on Walmart for a while.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got it on like not a Black Friday sale, but like some holiday sale back in like November, like very shortly after they came out. Because it was like a holiday release, so it makes sense. But
right.
I love those ones. Like just as like a not usually the only dolls that I do collect, like I was saying, are either cartoon dolls, which are sort of how I got back into collecting, or mermaid dolls. But the one like exception lately was the Barbie Rewind Career Girl. That one I just like loved so much. So
you're cracking open a dangerous door, Matt.
Oh, right.
I am. She's currently sitting with my glitter and gold gem doll because 80s. My Shani doll, who I got sort of as toy research for the project I'm currently working on, and then because this doll has nowhere else to go. Princess Odette from the Swan Princess.
Oh,
90s.
Oh, cool. Right.
I love those Swan Princess dolls, even though they're like incredibly inaccurate.
They look nothing like that. When I was saying that I'm like so fascinated by the translation of like a cartoon character to a doll, I was specifically thinking about her because she looks nothing like the character, but is very adorable anyway.
I would pay some really good money for like a nice like set of Swan Princess dolls of like Derek and Odette. I would pay good money for those.
I feel like a lot of people, I feel like there's a lot of like 90s nostalgia that like parallels like Disney Princess and stuff that like could do a lot of stuff like that if it just like got into the right hands. I'm still low-key surprised that Disney hasn't done anything with Anastasia yet, just because like clearly people revere that movie on the same level as like Beauty and the Beast or the little. Truly, Anastasia. This is a deep dark secret that truly is not, because I will tell anyone. But like, I like Anastasia as a movie more than The Little Mermaid. But like, it's just like Ariel is so much more nostalgic for a bunch of reasons to me. But like, as like an adult filmmaker now, like I watch those movies and I'm like, Anastasia, I like a good amount more. Like Little Mermaid, I still like. It's definitely still like one of my favorite movies, but like Anastasia beats it out like by a bit.
So an interesting side note is that I recently saw that touring Disney Princess the concert. And they had, and I think it's because at one point Christy Altomare, who was the Anastasia actress for the Broadway show, was part of it.
I saw her. Yeah.
And she, by the time it came to my area, she was no longer in it. But yeah, it was exciting to me to have somebody performing like Journey to the Past.
Yeah, and I think they have some production. I think they also have some Thumbelina in there too now. Like, don't they do Let Me Be Your Wings or something?
Oh, do they say that? They didn't do it when it stopped here, but yeah.
Okay.
I would love that.
I thought I heard somewhere that there was Let Me Be Your Wings, but that might have been when it was like an unofficial production still. Because like that's something that like Laura Osnes started like just for fun. And like I think a cabaret in New York after she was done with Cinderella. Of course, the not Disney Cinderella.
The Rodgers and Hammerstein.
And
yeah.
Right, which also incredible. We saw that I think 2 times. We saw it once on Broadway and then once when it came to Boston. It was an incredible show. Yeah, so I think she started that, and it slowly like grew into like an official Disney thing.
As the Disney blob consumes all.
Yeah.
Right.
And now they've got all those people in there. That's very cool. I haven't seen it, but I've heard a lot about it. And it seems very cool.
Yeah, it was way fun. If it comes to your area, highly recommended. It's got Susan Egan, who was the original Broadway Belle, as kind of the lead of the whole thing, and she can still knock your socks off.
Yeah. She of course, she original Broadway Belle, also Megara and Hercules.
Yes.
But she was Rose Quartz in Steven Universe. And I think she has a couple songs in that I'm just like, oh, wow, she's still like, I mean, she sounds exactly the same. Exactly the same.
Yeah. Early in the pandemic, she recorded her Hercules song in her house. And it was so good. And I was like, I watched that video so many times.
Yep, I remember that. That was fun.
But Disney gays, move back to mermaids. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I can go in so many different directions.
I do have a quick question. When did Thumbelina become Disney?
In the Fox acquisition.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yep. So Fox back in like early 2000s bought, I think, almost all of Don Bluth's library. Anastasia was always Fox, and then I think they bought everything that Don Bluth had produced on his own. So obviously not Land Before Time or An American Tale, or anything like that. But the stuff that he made on his own, which was Thumbelina, I think Thumbelina is the only one that like most people remember now.
I mean, people aren't clamoring for Rockadoodle.
Rockadoodle, or what is it? The Penguin and the Pebble,
not good.
The Troll in New York City is the one that like destroyed his company, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, but then he went from that and did Anastasia with Fox, which is, like I said, probably my favorite movie.
Yeah, his masterpiece for sure.
Yeah, he's got an autobiography coming out in a couple months that I'm very
I saw that.
I'm very excited for that. So Fox bought those movies in the early 2000s. So when Disney bought Fox, it all, became them. I've got a Thumbelina doll over here too, which is a very fun find. She lives with my Disney dolls because she's now a Disney one.
Aw. What was the first human doll you got, if you remember?
Oh. I think Belle. I think it was a Mattel Belle. Because like I remember the gold dress that is not the gold dress that she actually wears in the movie. And I remember the blue and white dress too. But I mean, like, technically it might have been Ariel too, because like all of the Ariel dolls, most of the Ariel dolls, at least from 97, kind of had at least like some level of like, she can be both, like she can be a mermaid or she can be a person, feature, to them. Like the Mermaid Princess or the Princess Mermaid Ariel, who has like the fins that turn into the dress, like I remember having so vividly. Because that was a very fun feature, even though like it sort of looks a little strange, but like just like very, very fun and stuff. So it might have technically been Ariel in like a sort of like, I don't know, I guess a cheat sort of way. But I definitely remember having Belle too. Because like I loved that dress. Like seeing her dance in the ballroom was like, I just like loved that character design as a child. So like I definitely wanted like dolls and toys of it a lot.
So did you collect human dolls too when you were little?
Yeah. I definitely remember having a lot of Barbies as well. Like I just saw a picture of that like the bath one who like you could like put the shampoo in her hair and it would like turn pink or like green or whatever. And she basically had like a rubber dress because like she's a bath doll. So like what fabric are you going to make that out of? But like plastic. But But yeah, I definitely had some. And then like as I got more into like cartoons and stuff, I definitely started collecting more and more, or wanting more and more. I wasn't like necessarily collecting at the time of those. And they were, again, mostly humans, because like the only cartoon mermaid in the 90s was Ariel. There were maybe like a handful of others.
Early 90s, yes.
Yeah. Early to mid to late, because I don't even remember what I like. I feel like when I got to like middle school, I was like, I need to stop getting toys. And then when I was like almost out of college, I was like, never mind, I need to get all of these again. But yeah, so like I would get Chris, I know you will obviously appreciate this, but like the Princess Guinevere dolls were like really, really big for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yay, my heart.
I loved those so much as a kid. And like
Gem?
that Gem I missed. I was born in 91. So like Gem, I didn't even like
tape.
I never saw it. I don't know how. I don't know that they were like available for rent or whatever near us. Or if they were, I didn't think to grab it or anything.
I forgive you.
Probably because there was a mermaid on the Little Mermaid cover, and I was like, this one, please. But no, Gem I found out about like in like high school or college, and then I was like, oh, this is very much my sort of thing. And then that has continued.
I first watched Gem downloaded episodes, like terrible quality from like an IRC chat channel. So
I saw it for the first time when Hasbro had that TV network, The Hub.
Oh gosh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and that was college. That was college for me. I was out of the dorms in my own apartment at that point. So I remember I was like, oh, Gem premieres on The Hub tonight. I'm gonna watch that. And now it's on, I think, Tubi TV.
Tubi TV, the place where all the lost things go.
Truly. I mean, I can't be... It is. I think it's the Starla version.
Yes.
And I can't be mad at it because Sirenet is on there too, and actually where I make most of my money. Yeah, so Princess Guinevere was really big for me as a kid. This came a little later, but Sailor Moon was really big.
Ooh, okay.
Once I sort of went from like mermaids to superwomen, and then took a long pause in toy collecting, and then got back into it again with superwomen, specifically with the Jakks Pacific Winx Club dolls. And now it has just exploded.
I went in hard on those Jakks Pacific Winx dolls.
I have so many. I have
them in their boxes, and their boxes are so awkwardly large.
I do not. I debox. I mean, I debox most of my toys, but I have them all out of box. They all live in a storage container in my basement, except for I have this one really high awkward shelf in my office, and I was like, oh, it's like they're flying, so they all just like live up there. So I have the Rainbow Believix ones that were like the collector's edition that they made a while later. I think when like Jakks Pacific knew like, oh, Winx Club is probably not going to be a thing much longer. Let's make this thing for our fans.
But Winx is actually another series that has some mermaids in it.
Yeah.
And they made those beautiful Italian dolls randomly.
Yes.
Of background mermaid characters.
I so wish I could find those. They're crazy expensive to get.
Yes.
Like $300-$400 plus shipping from Europe.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're really nice. That was very much, I think, so that would have been season 3 of the Winx Club, which I think is when like Rainbow was like, oh, we can make a lot of money off of the toys of this show. So I think they were just like making like as many toys as they could. And I think they were like maybe exploring like a mermaid, not a spin-off, but I think they were like seeing how sellable mermaids would be for the Winx Club line, which I think like not necessarily led to season 5, which is of course when like it's basically the Winx Club goes underwater and they don't ever become mermaids, but they get like mermaid powers. So like I think they were sort of exploring it there in season 3 a bit, and then when Nickelodeon came in season 5, they were like, okay, cool, now we're doing a whole ocean season. But the villains will be mer people instead. So here we go. Which I did not. I think that's sort of when I stopped collecting the Jakks Pacific, which is like honestly very quick.
That's right when they started, practically.
It basically was, but I mean, like they made what? They made Believix, Enchantix. I didn't get any of the Charmix, but I know that they made a couple of those. I know I have both of the Believix lines. I have all of Harmonix that they made. Unfortunately, they didn't make the Techna.
Yeah.
Even though those were beautiful prototypes. I have both. I have the Enchantix, both Believix. Is that it? Maybe I stopped early. I did get Harmonix.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get Sirenix just because I was like, these are all the same. These are all the same. They're all wearing the same outfit. I don't need 6 of them.
Bluemix line, I want to say.
They did.
I think that was the final one that they did, but
yeah, they did.
Winx went away again.
Yeah, they did Bluemix, and I think their last 2 lines were Bluemix and Rainbow Believix Power. But
Rainbow
which I did
like,
get.
Yo, we got these patterns. We can just make it in one color.
Truly, like I really like. I think they're really well made. I really, really like them. But like I think they had made prototypes of Mythics, and there was a color change one as well that they had prototyped. Just like a fun, like little, like budget, like fun line that they had started prototyping, and I think started some production of. But I think Nickelodeon was basically like, yeah, we're done. We're done with Winx. We're good. So Jakks just couldn't keep making them anymore. Which is honestly part of why like the Winx Club dolls in particular, but then like also the Encanto dolls are why I thought Jakks Pacific was getting Disney Princess next. But like very happy to see it going to Mattel, especially considering how like we're gonna be getting, so many mermaid dolls from them next year for the live action Little Mermaid that's coming out. I'm very I was a little nervous to see what Hasbro was going to do with those.
Yeah, having owning 1 or 2 of the Aladdin live action dolls from Hasbro.
Oh boy,
not good.
I didn't hate the Aladdin ones. I didn't get any. The Mulan ones were just weird to me, and the Beauty and the Beast ones were strange looking.
Oh, the Beauty and the Beast ones were like the ugliest faces.
That poor movie did not get any good merchandise.
No.
So I was definitely a little anxious to see what Hasbro was going to do with live action Little Mermaid. So I'm very pleased to know that it's going to be Mattel again getting the rights to that, and also Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, that they're going to make all those old live action movies old. Like these are like 10 plus years old. They're like from like 2 years ago. But like they'll be making those again, so maybe Belle can finally like have a nice looking doll and stuff.
It's like I know Mattel can make a nice Emma Watson doll because they did it for Harry Potter dolls.
Right.
I was waiting for them to come out with like a Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Hermione, so I have one of the Disney Store ones downstairs with that hideous face that I bought to try to repaint. Did not do a good job, so I was just like, okay, when they have a Hermione doll that looks grown up enough, I will put her in this dress. And they lost that license, but now they're getting it back, so it doesn't even matter. They're getting Disney Princess back. I mean,
I've got a quick question. How did you feel about Mattel towards the end of the Disney line? What did you think of the dolls then?
So I wasn't super collecting Disney at that point, at least not from Mattel, which I guess is maybe your answer, that like I was not really interested anymore.
Right. Okay.
But I was working in a toy store when that news broke. So like I had seen the Disney dolls come in, and they were fine. They were popular. They were very popular. And I left before they started carrying the Hasbro dolls. So I don't know how the Hasbro ones sold in store. Probably, I honestly doubt most parents noticed a difference.
Right.
But I don't know. They were like, I now like having like learned a little bit more about the toy industry. I understand why they were what they were, and why like Hasbro basically started at the same level of quality or very quickly reached it. Or I don't know that you would say that they reached that level of quality because it wasn't great. But I don't know, like I do think the last couple of Disney Mattel lines had better or closer, more on model faces than Hasbro really kind of ever did. But I mean, like, you know, their outfits, they were basically action figures with just like a glittery skirt on, with like very like stiff hair, which was like kind of, you know, not anything like worth collecting, which is also not what that line necessarily is. Like, I do think one of the really good, very cool things that Hasbro has done is shown that there is a more general collector market for Disney Princess. Because like obviously Disney has known for a while that there's like the more luxury collector's edition of like the princess dolls, like the crazy expensive ones. But I think Hasbro has shown like with their style series and stuff like that there is more of like a middle market of like more affordable collector's edition stuff that I really hope Mattel keeps going, because when they're all just playline, it does very quickly become like very cheap. I mean, Hasbro did it too, you know, like I think 1 or 2 years in, again, all of their dolls were plastic tops and I think they still had removable shoes. I don't know that Disney ever or Mattel ever lost the removable shoe either. I know Hasbro, some of their budget lines for like My Little Pony, Equestria Girls and stuff only had like a fabric skirt and like a brushable ponytail and no shoes or anything. But no, I don't know. It was interesting. I have one of the last Ariels they made, the Signature Collector's Edition, that like weirdly used the Little Mermaid 3 box art and stuff. And she's nice. Her hair is very gluey, which is unfortunate, but she's got the weirdest legs I've ever seen. I'm obsessed with them. They're the strangest things. This is one of my favorite things about mermaid dolls is like, how do they approach the tail? And usually what happens is just like, it's just like, okay, they bend at the waist and then it's just like a big chunk of plastic. If they even bend at the waist, because like some of the older ones, like Bubbling Mermaid Barbie, Tropical Splash Little Mermaid, those don't bend at the waist. And now bringing it a little bit more current, mermaids don't bend at the waist either. They sort of do, but like not a lot.
The color reveals don't, of course, either.
Right. Yes. No, they don't either. Which those ones do. That is why I also stopped really trying to chase those, because I was like, I don't know. I do like the fabric fins though. I wish they would do that more. I wish they would do like a bend at the waist, but still fabric fin. I think that's a really cool idea. But no, this like signature collection Ariel doll or whatever that they made in like 2000, I don't even know when, 2013, 2014, something like that, is so strange because like she's got like human legs under the fabric tail, but the knees bend the wrong way. They go left and right instead of back and forth.
Oh, jeez.
Because she's supposed to be a mermaid, so they're like, oh, like we can get different shapes if we have them go different ways. But they still wanted her to be a human, so instead of like being able to like walk or anything, like they just like bend left and right, which is just like it's very cool. I like it, or like it's interesting. I like it a lot. I think it's a fun feature, but it is one of the goofiest looking dolls I've ever seen.
So speaking of more recent mermaid dolls, we've got, you know, it's almost an embarrassment of riches if you are a mermaid doll fan right now.
It's very cool.
Mermaid High, the
Yep.
mermaids, very very, very 1990s sounding. You've got the color reveal Barbie mermaids. And let's see. Oh my God, I know I'm forgetting something.
Barbie's coming out with a lot
Dreamtopia
lately.
mermaids, yeah.
Yeah, Dreamtopia, and then they also have, I think I mentioned it briefly earlier, they also have a new, different, like, separate line called Mermaid Power that's based on one of the movies coming out.
Oh, yes, like an upcoming Barbie movie.
Right, yeah. Which is going to co-star, it's Malibu Barbie and Brooklyn Barbie, which is exciting that we're getting. I think it looks like Brooklyn Barbie is the main character of this one, which is cool because, like I said, like back in the 90s, Mattel had to like introduce its own character to get a mermaid of color into the line. So to have Brooklyn Barbie like be, like front and center for this one is very refreshing.
So for each of you then, what is your favorite of these current lines that are coming out now?
Yeah, Terry, I want to hear you.
I'm really digging the Dreamtopia. I'm not a fan of Mermaids, and Mermaid High Oceana is my go-to. Yeah, I haven't picked up an Oceana yet. I guess I'm just waiting for more to come out.
Oceana is like hands down my favorite. She's so far the only one I've gotten a duplicate of.
Ooh, okay, very nice.
As in like they have their second wave out now.
Oh,
and
gotcha. Yep.
I am like, okay, I'm only going to get the new character because we do know enough now that there's going to be one new character in each Mermaid High wave. But Oceana appears to be in every line, and I was like, I don't need duplicates of the older characters. But then I saw the Spring Break Oceana. I was like, I need this one. This one needs to live in my house.
I don't know if you know. Oh, real quick, I don't know if you know, but they are on clearance at Walmart. If you can find them,
really,
you have the first wave.
Okay. I was considering getting a duplicate in box because I do. So for me, Mermaid High is like as close to a doll line that I would personally design as I think exists presently. I really, really like them. I understand that like some of the doll collectors out there like have some issues with their faces. Mostly in that they're very cartoony, but I'm an animator. I like a cartoony doll. Right. No, I love them. I think they're really fun. And like, honestly, like based off of the last couple of years with where Hasbro has been, where Mattel has been, I feel like Mermaid High specifically has a lot of what doll collectors and doll people have been asking for. But for some reason, they just like aren't like supporting them or like aren't really, they're not really trying them out. I think because they're not from Hasbro, MGA, or Mattel.
Right.
But I love them. I think they're so like, they're really well made. Their outfits are really nice. Like Finley from the first wave, I haven't gotten Finley from wave 2. I don't know that I will, but her outfit looks good there too. But like her outfit is probably the most impressively made, at least the top is the most impressively made thing I've seen from like a Playline doll in like a really long time. It's like 5 different materials all sewn together and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Mari also has like a woven skirt. Like there's like literal, like, I don't know. They're really, really nicely made. Oceana is actually probably the one whose outfit is like the quote unquote cheapest made, but it's still really nice. I still really like it. And she also, I think design wise is my favorite hands down. And then Spring Break, the new line is like their first like budget line. The first wave of Mermaid High was all collector's edition, they were all deluxe edition. And so Spring Break is their first like general release. And those are, they're what you'd expect. Like they're very like kind of basic fashion, but like it's very cute. It's very well made and well printed, and the tails are great. Like the fins are just like really voluminous and fun. And I also like, I know this is like, I guess maybe when you get into like the world of mermaid dolls, this is like a subject of debate, but like, I like that they can be humans or mermaids, because like that just like is an added level of play, but like it also means that like, so Mermaid High dolls are decently articulated. They are missing like wrist and ankle articulation, but like I never really think about that. But like, so they're decently articulated. So like you can do a lot with those tails. They can sit, they can like bend at the knee and stuff. Like they're decently posable. So I really like them. Apparently we're going to be seeing the second wave very soon.
Oh, good.
I heard they're supposed to be on shelves in like July, so we'll start seeing like pictures of them in the coming weeks probably. And I'm very intrigued to see what those look like. But the first wave like just didn't feel finished to me. Or I guess they seemed sort of rushed is what like I sort of thought. Like they had started production of them or they'd started developing them, and then like 50% of the way in, like halfway through, they heard about Mermaid High. They were like, oh my God, we need to beat them to market. We need to get these out now. So they're going to be like a bath doll, but you can't get their hair wet and you can't get their clothes wet. So just the tail, just play with the tail in the bath. It's fine. And then they're going to be $35 or something like that, which is like that.
Yeah. When
you get over $30 for me, that's like, I need to love it at that point for a current, like a modern day doll. Like I need to like very much love it. And mermaids, I don't love at this moment. Mm-hmm. Like I think they have potential. I think some of they all have the same face sculpt, which I think is a problem. But I think it really, really works well on have I ever said this name out loud? Shell awful name. Hate that name. But she's, I think, the best looking one. Okay. And like her face, I think the face sculpt works perfectly on her. The hair color is great. The color scheme in general is great. But just like, I don't know. I think if she goes on sale, I'll probably pick her up. But no, they've also done like this thing that like this was my problem with Dreamtopia for a really long time, which is why I'm really excited about the new ones coming out. But like, I don't understand this thing when like doll companies decide that mermaids don't need to be aquatic at all. So like Dreamtopia mermaids for the longest time were all like made out of candy and like, or like, here's like a bunch of ribbons that are just like tied around them and stuff. Or like their tails are all like a bunch of like ruched fabric. And like, they were like actively confusing to me. But again, like Dreamtopia, like specifically Dreamtopia, what that toy line is like, that is your affordable play line. Like it's not really supposed to be like it's supposed to be fun for kids. So like, sure, I guess like a mermaid that is half woman, half candy cane, is appealing to a 5-year-old. And like, you know, it's right. Not appealing to me as an adult collector, but that toy is not made for me. That's fine. Mermaids has done a similar thing where none of the dolls are actually aquatic in any way. Like Chanel's tail is a purse. Or I guess somebody said that it looked like she was half woman, half ham, which is very funny to me. But like one of them is like her tail is made out of sweatpants. Which one? Yeah, that one's like Gordy, I think. And so like I'm already sort of like, okay, but like how are they mermaid? Like I don't understand here.
Yeah.
But then also like a lot of their tails are specifically like they're made out of plastic, but they're made to look like they're fabric. Whereas like mermaid, it's just very funny to me that like, so Mermaids has a bunch of mermaids whose tails are made out of plastic, but look like fabric. And then Mermaid High has a bunch of tails that are made out of fabric, but are meant to look like something harder. They're scaly. They're supposed to be like you would, like the plastic tails that Mattel does, like, I don't love, but they make sense to me because I'm like, okay, but like a fish isn't like soft like fabric is. So like, I'm okay with the fact that these are all plastic. My favorite is, of course, the like mermaid fantasy dolls from like 2003 who have like the silicone rubber. But I know those are like super expensive to produce now. But like, it's just funny to me that like the two current mermaid doll lines seem to have the tails mixed up. So yeah, like mermaids in general, like I think it maybe needs to mature a bit. I think they maybe need to get a more refined vision of what they're doing. But I think they have a lot of potential. I think they're like they could be really cool. They just are not for me presently. So I'm very intrigued to see what the summer line is going to be like. I've heard that they're going to have more posability, like they'll bend at the waist, they'll bend at the knee.
I hope.
And supposedly there's a boy in the second line. We know that Mermaid High is getting a boy doll. I don't know that he's going to be a merman. I think he's going to be a human who's just like in a 2-pack.
Yeah, boo, damn.
I would love for him to come with like a shark tail or something. Like I know obviously they're going to go like super, right? Like I know that like they're probably like a toy line like this is probably going to like go somehow gendered with the fishtail, and like on one hand I'm like, oh, whatever, but like I do think a merman who's like part shark would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would be.
So I would love to see that, but like we know that I don't know that he's going to come with a tail, but we know that we're at least getting a boy doll for Mermaid High sometime soon. And rumor has it Mermaids is coming out with a merman doll at some point in the next year, which would be, I mean, if they did that, I would buy that in a heartbeat. It would
I would be like, wake me up when Mermaids produces a merboy.
Truly, Mermaids, Mermen's.
Oh God!
Yeah, there you go. I like that.
The line I would collect. Yeah, and then so those are like, you know, that's been sort of like the story or the I don't know, narrative on Twitter lately, it seems, is like Mermaid High versus Mermaids. And for me, Mermaid High won very, very quickly. I just think they're really cute. I don't know, like I like the designs there a lot. Like they're a good balance of like human like aesthetic, but like they're all somehow ocean themed. Like my favorite thing is Mari, who's like supposed to be, she's described as being rock and roll, but she's very clearly like goth, like Hot Topic. But her purse has, I love this. I think it's so cute, but her purse has, it's very clearly Ariel doing the like part of your world rock thing. But she's a skeleton, which I think is just like, I think it's so funny and so cute. And like, I would buy that on a shirt in an instant. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But no, like they're all like a little like wink or nod to the fact that these are like oceanic creatures, but they're still like teenage girls. Which is very much my aesthetic. Like my own character she's not a teenager anymore. She's grown up with me. So like I'm writing a movie about Nettie, who's like 30. But like, that's always been my sort of go-to is like an aquatic aesthetic human look. So Mermaid High is just very much my sort of thing. But I do love those new Dreamtopia mermaids that, his name's Alex Kent. I think I already said that. No, Angel Kent? Kent, yeah. I'm getting this. Angel Kent, thank you. Those are, I absolutely intend on getting at least one or two of those. Like those are, they're fish again, so I'm happy. They finally look like they live in the water.
Not sweatpants mermaid.
Not sweatpants mermaids, not candy, not fabric.
Right.
No, but they've got like pectoral fins, which is very fun.
Yeah.
They have like seashells on their tops and stuff, but like also like we're getting kind of like I was saying before with like the fashion showdown thing, like we're getting like a curvy mermaid who's like very like darker skin, but like bright pink and like lots of really fun sort of aesthetics in there. We're getting like it looks like he's like really sort of like breathing a bit more life into this line. Or I don't know if it's life or just like a little bit more thought. not that like the old ones were thoughtless. There was obviously a lot of design that went into those, but like I think they were maybe just like, this is what kids like. Here we go. And now these are sort of more like, this is what kids like, but this is also like what mermaids are and what they have been. But also in a way that like we haven't seen in a bit. Like I don't know. I know that like Barbie has had some curvy mermaids for like a bit now. And also like I think I need, there's one in particular in this line that like the stock photos look one way, but then the actual like in-box photos look another. But I think one is Asian, but I don't know that she actually, I don't know that she actually is, because the in-box photos look like she has a different face mold and face screening than the promo photos have. This is the one with, I think she has purple hair. Okay. But like, that would be very exciting to see, just like really kind of like get a lot more different like mermaids into the line. Cause I think so far it's been very, it's been very like, here's, like I was saying before, it's very much like, this is Barbie. Like you're very like pretty, thin, white, blonde lady. And then you'll like back in the 90s, you'd get like Black Barbie and stuff. Teresa, like is of course Latina, but I don't know that I necessarily recognize that as a child. Again, not that like race is important to a child, but it's important to a child who is that race. But like, I don't know, it's nice to see. That's another thing that I appreciate about both Mermaid High and Mermaids is that they have very much like launched their line with a lot of like Mermaid High is like there's one white character and then it's Latina, Asian, and African American. Mermaids did I think a similar set up. I think I'm not 100% sure. But it's just like it
follows like the MGA pattern, right?
Very much
all the
so,
way
yeah.
in the beginning with Bratz.
Yes, which is just like very cool to see. Like as a mermaid person, like so many, like just for like a really long time. I mean, the only mermaid we had for like ever was, Ariel. Like we had like this one kind of design, and then there was Barbie as well. But we just sort of like had this like one design that was like being reiterated over and over and over again. So it's just like I always get like really excited when I see a mermaid who like just doesn't look like a mermaid we've seen before.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very, which I guess like to like play devil's advocate to myself is very much mermaids. Like that is very much like they do not look like mermaids that we've seen before. I guess just in a way that I'm not personally responding to at the moment. But like Mermaid High, and especially these, I do wish the Dreamtopia ones had a bit more articulation and some fabric pieces. But again, like I was saying, like that is not necessarily what the Dreamtopia line is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a little bit more affordable and for like, that more like rough and tumble kind of play.
Right. Like these dolls could stand up to bath play, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like they're bath toys. Like you don't want anything that's going to get ruined. The Mermaid Power line looks a little bit more upscale, a little bit more deluxe. I'm not sure upscale is the right word, so I'll say deluxe. Because like those have like interchangeable pieces. They have fins that you can replace, and I think it looks like they might have like the color reveal. The thing that I like about the color reveal is like they have that like double plastic effect. So like you can like you have that like fun scale pattern, but then like there's like the color underneath it, so it's like sort of not holographic, but there's a dimension there. And it looks like Mermaid Power is going to be doing that, which is very fun. And they have like, I think, a bunch of different like accessories and necklaces and stuff. I get sort of lost in the color scheme. Like the colors that they've picked there are a little much for me. I do like that Barbie's all blue though. That's very cool. I think like not Brooklyn Barbie, Malibu Barbie is like all blue and I think some purple, which is just kind of like refreshing. Again, like Barbie, I love classic Barbie, but she's of course been like pink for ever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very cool that now we're seeing her be more like blue and purple. She's cool tones, which go like very well with her like color scheme and stuff. So it's just like it's that one. I think I'll probably end up getting. I do think I will probably end up getting the Brooklyn Barbie because she looks. I love her. Like she's got like this purple hair that's really nice. I love like the shape of a lot of her pieces. The colors are a bit much for me. So like I could see myself like painting one of those colors just to something that I think is maybe a little bit more cohesive. But that is, again, like this is something that I try to be very conscious of, especially because like not only am I a toy collector, but I am also an animator and filmmaker. So like I am thinking about audience a lot. So like I'm very critical of like the toys that I want to collect, but I'm not critical of like the toys themselves. Or I try not to be critical of the toys themselves because I'm like, well, but like, yeah, sure. Like maybe this like mermaid power doll isn't exactly what I want, but also like this toy is not particularly made for me. Like the King Ocean Ken doll is like it very much that is a collector's toy. The like Disney princess designer dolls very much are meant for me. So like if I don't like that, I'm like, okay, I think you maybe missed the mark here. Like I believe they did with that what is it? The Princess Celebration Ariel. I am not a fan of that one. So I didn't get it, which is, totally fine. On a similar note though, and like a grand finale for Hasbro, because we were talking about the Hasbro Mattel changeover. Like I love that style series Ariel that Hasbro's coming out with soon. And in a mermaid style dress. So appropriate. But yeah, I just try to, I don't know, like, I think I've lost my train of thought, but that happens quite often with me.
You're good.
Like, I think like, there's some things with the Dreamtopia and the Mermaid Power Barbies that I'm like, I'm not necessarily like in love with, but also I'm like, okay, but like, I don't need to be like these are meant for, young children to play pretty actively with. They need to love it. And I think, they do like the really bright colors and the candy cane factor that I am glad to see move on. But again, like if they worked for a while, they worked for a while.
Yeah. How many unicorns can have an ice cream cone horn after a certain point?
I will say I did see that Barbie Dreamtopia is coming out with like unicorn princess dolls, and those ones I have questions about. Don't know why we're doing that, but if it works, it works. I am glad to see Mattel trying new stuff. That is very fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Chris, which one do you prefer right now? Mermaid Mermaze or Mermaid High?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Mermaid High, but it's mostly because those Mermaids dolls have the heads that look like the old Liv dolls. And I never really warmed to those, and the inset eyes. There's like a weird coldness to them that I just don't like.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a big fan of the inset eyes. I will say I found some in store and I liked them more.
Okay.
So not enough to purchase. But I was like, okay, you do not photograph well, mermaids, but you do look cuter in person. But I agree, the inset eyes is very off-putting to me.
Yeah. I have to say I love the Mermaids packaging though.
Yeah.
I just find that very innovative that the tail is like out of the package. There's like that big wedge cut out of the package.
As that is another one of those things where I don't know how well thought out Mermaids is, because like as someone who used to work in a as someone who used to work in a toy store, the second I saw those, I was like, these toys are a disaster. Like these toys you need to sanitize this thing the moment you get it out of the package. Which I've heard is actually very difficult, that they're like somehow like their tail is like fastened into the package from the inside.
Oh my God.
But like, I just like knowing what children do, especially in a toy aisle where their parents are like, okay, I don't necessarily need to like pay attention for the next 10 minutes. I'm very concerned about the cleanliness of those toys that you're getting from a toy aisle. Mermaids is a line where like I think I like this is also part of why I haven't purchased one yet. I think I would have to purchase one in store because like the hair is so intricate that I'd like want to make sure that I get one, especially where like I think the one that I would want to get is Chanel, who has that hair bow, which I guess is actually like I guess it's actually a separate piece. I don't think it's actually her hair. So it's a little bit more quality control that way. Like you can just like take it off and it's fine. But I'd want to make sure that I get a good one of those. But then I think I would just like Clorox wipe like for hours because I'm sure that all of those tails have been licked at least once.
Oh,
sorry to put that image in your mind. It's just like it just working in a toy store. I am very concerned about what's going on there.
I just imagine like in transport too, though, like those are gonna break, man. Like those,
right?
Yeah. Well, I know that who was the first one? Harmonique, I think. I do like her tail a lot. It's meant to look like crystal. But she has like a holographic paint that I guess didn't adhere very well to the plastic. So because of the tail poking out of the box, people are getting a lot of these dolls of specifically Harmonique. This doesn't seem to be an issue with any of the others. Where the paint is falling off. It's just like chipping off and stuff. Like I've seen it in a lot of, I think the Disney Dad on YouTube, I think he's like Disney Dad 83, did a review where like you can see the paint sort of like falling off of the tail and stuff.
Oh, geez.
And he had a positive review too. Like there's definitely like people out there who like love these dolls, but are like very much like, yeah, this is definitely like, you know, some work maybe. So like that is another concern, but that also would have happened if you unbox the doll anyway. Like if the paint is that, if they just like made, you know, maybe a poor choice with the paint selection, that paint was coming off eventually. Right. It's just because the doll is out of the packaging, it's happening before you purchase it.
You just sped up the process.
Yeah, I sort of think that Mermaids, at least this wave, was designed specifically for in-box collectors. And like not really anyone else. Because like I said, like the fact that like the toy, like the mermaid tail is like a color change water feature, but it specifically says in the instructions, do not get the hair or outfit wet. I'm like, okay, so what is the overall point here? And then like, the way that the box is set up, I'm like, okay, this is meant to look cool in the box, but it doesn't really make sense once you take it out of the box. Which like is fine. Like I definitely have some dolls that I keep in the box because that's absolutely a market. But I just like where it seems to be like an in-box collector's item that they are selling as a playline item. I get confused there. I'm getting overly critical of, again, a children's toy, but it's a head scratcher to me. So I kind of hope that like wave 2 or 3, I guess, because wave 2 was probably already in production when the dolls came out. It makes a little bit more sense to me. I'm hoping that it's maybe been refined a bit, which like people have said about like Rainbow High and stuff, that like they didn't really hit their stride until wave 3 and everything. But which I don't know too much about Rainbow High, but so yeah, I feel like, you know, if Mermaids continues, it'll probably get to a point where I get really excited. But just at the moment, I'm a little confused.
So I saw recently on your Instagram, Matt, that you also commissioned a doll of your own mermaid character who's made many appearances in your animated works, Sirenetta.
I did.
And I was wondering if you could just talk a little bit about the process of getting your very own doll commissioned and how it feels to see your own character brought to life like that.
That was really, thank you for asking about that, because like that was such like a big, I wanted to do that for years. I've wanted to commission specifically a Sirenetta doll for a really long time. And like, I just like felt so awkward about it. Like it sort of, I talked it through with like a couple of people and they're like, oh, it's because you're investing in yourself and that's scary. Because like, this is like your idea. And I was very much like, well, but like, I don't think my character is good enough to be a doll. So like, why would I commission that? But like, I very much wear Sirenetta, especially in the last short that we made, Sirenetta's Family Dinner, which came out in 2019, was very much sort of like redesigned based on doll aesthetics. And then as we're now entering production, well, I've been in production for about like a month and a half now of Sirenetta Part-Time Mermaid, which is a feature film. Like it's very, again, like we're getting very much into the doll aesthetics. Like I mentioned the Shanny doll earlier, and that's because like Calypso, another character who's popped up in a lot of these shorts, is basically just like, she's not wearing exactly Shani's outfits, but like that's where I'm drawing a lot of inspiration from for her character. But yeah, so I finally just like one day, I knew that I sort of wanted to do this, but I didn't really know like from who. I follow a few customizers, but they're not necessarily like open for commission or anything. So I follow Kira Dolls Restoration, Kira, Kira Dolls _ Restoration on Instagram. And they just posted one day, hey, I'm open for commissions. If you want a custom doll, reach out and let me know and we can figure something out. And I just was like, okay, like I've been wanting to do this forever. So I'm just going to like, literally this person is saying like, I want to do this for people. I want to make a custom doll. So I just like messaged them on Instagram and was like, hey, like would you be able to do this character? I sent him some pictures because like all of his dolls, he seems to do mostly Sailor Moon, which is his Sailor Moon dolls are beautiful.
Yeah, but I don't know what you mean.
Yeah. So he does mostly Sailor Moon dolls, which are very like anime inspired. Sirenetta looks a little different. So I just like wanted to be like, hey, is this something that like you would be able to do? And he was really sweet and like really excited. And he was like, yes, absolutely. Like it's maybe going to be a little different looking just because like translating a cartoon to a doll is always sort of like it can always be a little weird. Which like I was saying, I'm so fascinated by that process. So I absolutely know Princess Odette. But
a new meme.
But yeah, so I just like the transaction was through eBay, which was like really easy because like I'm on eBay every day pretty much. But yeah, I sent him a bunch of photos. He asked some specific questions, kind of like, okay, like what should her top look like? Can you send some close-ups of her face because it looks really specific? And I was like, okay, yes, here's the important thing. Her eyes are supposed to look like fish. So please keep that in. He did. It's beautiful. And he turned it around like really, really quick, which was very exciting. I think he quoted like 5 or 6 weeks, and I think I had it in like 4.
Oh my God.
It was, and like, I'm so happy with her. I think she's like so beautiful. Like I'm just like, I'm staring up at her right now because like she's on my shelf in front of my desk. And yeah, it was just like really, special because like, obviously like my whole obsession with mermaids started from a mermaid doll. And now like I am going to be spending the next 2+ years of my life making a mermaid movie. So like to have that character now, like, you know, kind of come full circle and be a doll, just like feels like a really good sort of like, keep going. This is what you're doing this for.
Well, yeah, she's
sort of like, I don't know,
totemic almost.
Yeah, yeah.
Piece of something from your brain like is now real.
Yeah,
right.
That was very much like that's part of why like I love cartoon dolls so much, is that like they are a real, like a tangible translation of an intangible character. Like you can't you don't know with like a 2D, specifically 2D. I have some 3D character dolls because I did collect all the Disney princesses. But like you don't know what like a 2D character would look like in the real world until you get like my favorite one is truly Megara from like the 90s. Susan Egan again. The Megara Mattel doll is incredible.
Oh,
like
yeah, she looks like she walked off the screen. Yeah.
She looked like she walked out of that movie, which is insane given how stylized that film is. Yeah. Like Megara should not work in 3 dimensions, and she is beautiful. So it's just like seeing this character that has lived in my brain for like 10 plus years now, but I'm also like spending my next 2 years like really, really investing in her and her world a lot. It is very totemic, which is very appropriate for the plot of the movie. But it is just like it was a step that like I'm glad I took, and I very much want to keep doing. I think my next step is I just got like a sale email from Budsies, that service that makes like plush toys out of drawings.
Cool.
So I think I want to get a Nettie plush doll made. That might be my next step. But
you should.
Yeah, it's just I very much I've wanted to do that for a while. It just takes me a while to like actually take that step and do these things. Yeah, it's just been like it's been really special and really cool to like I know a lot of people will like get not a lot of custom dolls made, but like it's something that at least online, like one-of-a-kind dolls seem like pretty, like I'll say common as like a concept. But like I had never, had the confidence to like actually order one. So like having one here now of like this character that's just like literally swum around in my brain is just like very, very, I've said it like probably 40 times now. It's just very exciting and very gratifying to have. And he took so much care with her. Like she looks so cool. Her fins are made out of like this like holographic plastic vinyl, which is like really cool because like I gave Nettie these like dorsal fins. She's supposed to look like a triggerfish. So she has these like fins on her side because like, again, I like mermaids who don't look like the typical mermaids we've seen. So she's got like these like really big, they're not quite pectoral fins, but like she's got these really big fins on the side of her tail, and he just like he did a beautiful job. I'm really, really happy with him. And another friend of mine just let me know last night that like he ordered a Sailor Moon doll from him based off, I don't know if it was based off of like my post being like, this person is incredible, but I'm glad to see that like other people I know are now ordering from Kira Dolls, because he did beautiful work, and I'm really, really happy with it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I definitely hope she's the first of many. Both like one of a kind, and like I would like truly lose my mind if like she was ever like a wide release doll. Which I would love to see one day, but we'll see. One step at a time. I got to make the movie first.
Right. Speaking of which, can you tell us about the animated movie you're working on?
Yeah, sure. It is very appropriately. I'm like really, I very much started production of it last month. I've been chipping away at it for the last like year on the script and some concept art. But it's called Sirenetta Part-Time Mermaid. And it is a independently produced feature-length animated film. That is, like you said, I've had Sirenetta be in a bunch of shorts that I've made over the last 10 years. She has starred in, I think, 13 shorts at this point. So I got this. I've had this idea for a movie of her for a while. So like last year, I finally sat down and started writing it. I had never quite like figured out how the villain was going to work, and then like one day it just like clicked in my mind, and I was like, oh my god, I can get started now. I understand the villain. So I started writing it. I found funding for it. We recorded with the voices of Nettie and Freckles in person last month, which was really exciting. They had never met before. They never met or even, I don't know if they even talked online. But yeah, so Ashley and Blake, they came out here to Boston. We all went to record together for 3 days, which was just like absolutely incredible. I'm recording with the voice of, we have a new lead character who's entering the cast for this film. And I record with their voice actor Wednesday and Thursday this week. And yeah, it's going to be this like big, this really, really big global adventure. The plot is sort of patterned after Into the Woods. Totally not at all, but totally it's very much like kind of a 90s fun time movie. But yeah, so it's, you know, sort of like a scavenger hunt. A lot of mythical characters from, you know, different stories, different legends, all sort of come into play in different ways. And it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to work on so far. I've gotten a lot of really incredible vocal talent involved. That's very much what's been happening the last couple of months, is the voice actors have been recording their parts. And as I've been storyboarding a lot of the film. I've been working on a test animation at the moment for the last like month or so. And I'm really close to being happy with it, which is good. Because we are changing how we work a little bit for this one, just because there's so much to do. Because the script is, I think, about 100 pages long. And so it's approximately a minute a page for animation. But we have one of the voices of one of the Mermaid High girls involved. So I still got like dolls in there in some way. We got a person from the mermaid community in a part, because I wanted very much to like have a little wink to like every sort of like little, a little like part of our audience that I thought might enjoy this movie. I tried to like have some sort of like little wink or nod to them. So it's a very like, we've got a mermaid, we've got a professional mermaid, we've got a cartoon doll mermaid. We've got a drag queen mermaid, Bella Noche from New York City.
Oh, cool.
Just was talking about her part. She did so fun. Yeah, because it's a very like like we've said, we're all queer people, gay men and whatnot. So like it's a very queer story with a lot of like subtextual, but also like textual like queer elements and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. I've been very it's been incredibly fulfilling already. I've only been at it full time for like a month and a half maybe. But I can't wait. I'm so excited to like really dive into it. Probably I'm recording. I think we have 3 more big parts to record. We have Archie, who I'm recording with, their voice actor. Like I said, Wednesday and Thursday. We have Calypso recording presently. And then I still technically have to cast the villain, but I'm in talks with someone, so I'm getting there.
Very cool.
And then we're pretty much good to go. Then we can like really get started. I like to animate once we have the voice talent done, because then we can like really like play off of the personality and the performance and stuff. So we can really get into it now that we're getting a lot of that stuff in.
Awesome. Well, where can people follow you, and where can they find out more about Sirenetta and your doll collection?
Of course.
Animation.
So my company is Tiny Siren Animation. You can see all of our work on www.tinysiren.com. Because that is just a synonym for Little Mermaid. Like I said, the original Little Mermaid comes into all of my work. So Tiny Siren, that's how we're doing it. My animation company is at Tiny Siren Toons, TOONS, on Instagram and Twitter. My personal Instagram account is annoying, but I can't get an alternative right now. It's matt.t.b.r. Which is where you can see a lot of my toy collection and my dogs as well. Whoops, where did my headphones go? Yeah, that's kind of it. That's where I am.
Amazing.
Cool.
Well, I am so looking forward to seeing the progress and finished product of Siren a Part-Time Mermaid due to
Thank
us
you.
in 2024.
2025 maybe.
Okay.
We're producing it for, I'm optimistically estimating it'll take about 2 years to produce, and then we're going to do the festival circuit, which I'm assuming
Nice.
will probably take about another
Cool.
year. So that's the plan right now anyway. You know, you can always like make a plan and then you see what happens.
You know, no plan
But-
survives.
Yeah, no. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do anyway.
You should take your doll with you when you do the festivals.
I sort of want to bring her on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday when I'm recording.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I feel very self-conscious about that. I am very excited to be working with this actor. I've had a lot of respect for them for a while, so I don't know if I want to be like, "Hi, nice to meet you. I've been a fan of yours forever, and I have this doll with me. So we're gonna go take pictures now."
Yeah.
But I might do it anyway. I don't know. But yes, I am sure when the festivals actually come around, there will certainly be some form of Sirenetta swag that I am traveling with. I just don't know what form it'll be at this point.
Very
I'm hoping
cool.
you hit a festival out in California.
I hope so as well. I very much want to travel with it. But again, we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you so much for
Wow.
coming on the show, Matt. It's been a total pleasure talking with you and geeking out over dolls and mermaids and Disney and all of these super fun things.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I love chatting about this kind of stuff.
Always,
And happy
always a
mermaid.
pleasure.
Yes, happy Mermaid.
Yes, happy MerMay, everyone.
Oh, which is officially sponsored by Mermaids Mermaids this year. It's all coming back. It's all coming full
I didn't
circle.
realize MerMay had official sponsors now. Like
They've always been sponsored by Wacom because it started with an animator, so like Wacom is very much like animation technology. And this year they are sponsored by one of their other sponsors is Mermaids Mermaids. So the grand prize is you get all the dolls, and the head judge is Jodie Benson.
Oh my gosh!
So they're really. I feel like next Mermaid is going to be absolutely insane because of the live action Little Mermaid. So I feel like this is like maybe the last like big normal one, and then next year I feel like Disney's going to get involved in a big way. So we will see how that all goes. But yes, happy Mermaid.
Yeah. All right, thanks so much everyone for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a rating and review. It really helps our discoverability. And as always, keep living that plastic fantastic life, and see you real soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye.